Kensy, correct.
Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. You know, we always have these technology problems, and I was challenged with them earlier. Danny was also having some issues, but we're very excited he's here. Danny Kensy's here. We're going to talk about Keep Hustling. He's going to perform 2 songs for us live, which is so awesome, and share his journey. Welcome, Danny. How you doing?
Doing good, Ted. How you doing, buddy?
I am great. Happy
Awesome.
Whatever today is. Thursday.
I think it is.
You were running around crazy because you've got lots of good stuff going on. So give them the 411 about you, maybe a little bit about your journey, because I think people always want to know, well, was he born a singer? Was he born a songwriter? How did that all work? And they love to hear the story of that.
I've got some crazy stuff to tell you. I really do. You know, I've been doing this a long time. I started at 3 years old. My parents put me into piano lessons. I was one of 5 kids, so we all took piano, and I was one of the only ones that kept up with it. And that's what my main instrument is now, is piano. So throughout high school, middle school, high school, I was in chorus, in the band, everything. I was an artist. I went to college at VCU in Richmond, Virginia, as an art major and a music major, and I was probably the only country guy there singing opera. So I said, I can't do this. I walked in with my cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and I'm like, I can't do opera anymore. So, I've been, this is my life. I started writing songs when I was 12 or 13.
What was motivating you then? Like, how do you write a song at that age?
I think motivation. I always liked country music. My mom always listened to John Denver and Willie Nelson, and around that time, I was always around her, and always Dad was on the road, always a truck driving guy. But the country music really just got me. It really did. And then I got to know a really cool guy, Hal Ketchum, who passed away last year, and he was my main influence to really start writing a lot more and performing, and love this stuff. But man, I've always been involved in music somehow. I've got a good friend of mine I was in a musical with in high school with, Jason Mraz, and me and him, grew up, went to school, and we did a play called Snoopy. He was Snoopy, I was Charlie Brown, and
he probably loves you telling that story. I love it.
I got the VHS tape still from that thing too. So
you need to release that one, my friend. That's a good chuckle for everybody.
Yeah. But music is what I love. I love to do music, and I'm always involved. It's playing, writing, whatever. I play so much, I travel so much. It's just crazy. So that's what I like to do.
Well, let's talk about your music. So, country, but it's one thing to grow up and love it. It's another thing to make it your vocation. So at what point as an adult did you go, all right, this is literally this is what I'm going to do? Because I think it's a challenge, right? It's for an artist, it's a big challenge. So how did you overcome, and how did you know what direction to take?
It was about 15 minutes ago when I said, okay, I'm gonna do this for full time. Now, I've always been a hard worker, and always, always been out there. Team, this is what I want to do. When I got in the phone with George Strait, because one of my brother's friends used to drive a truck in a bus for George Strait. So when I got on the phone with him, and he said, just keep working hard, you'll get there. It's all about hard working and believing in what you're doing. And that just kind of motivated me and said, hey, I want to do this. I want to be a singer. I'm always loved performing and doing the stage thing. So, it's a young age, and I keep doing the same thing now, just hard work and hustling.
How was it how did you pivot? What was 2020 like for you? I love to talk about
this. It was actually great, because I was one of the probably few artists who was actually playing shows. I do about 250 shows a year. Last year, I probably had about 175, maybe to 200, even with COVID going on. What I did was, I'm in Virginia right now, and we had a shutdown, but there was some friends that had a Mexican restaurant and said, listen, we always want you to come out here and play. Can you play for us? So I said, sure, why not? I went out there in the patio and played a parking lot show one night. It grew from there from 12 cars to about 100, 200 cars. And I
Wow.
did it about 5, 6 nights a week and did it every single night. So we had no downtime at all. And yeah,
What
it
a
was.
blessing. That's the first story like that I have heard from an artist during 2020. Most
Yeah.
people pivoted to Zoom, kind of like what we're
No.
doing. You were able, so I love the fact that you had the ability to play to the parking lot and that it grew because people were hungry for that. They needed connection.
Oh, for sure.
People love music, and you provided a safe environment for them to do it. I mean, it's all great things that you were doing.
Yeah, it was really cool, and the thing with the restaurant situation was they were allowed to get out there and sell food. Customers will get their food, pick up their food, take it to the parking lot, even the alcohol. And they said, hey, once it's out of the restaurant, it's not our deal. It's on the patrons, which was true. So, but everybody stayed in their car. About the probably the 6th, 7th, 8th week is when you started seeing things go crazy. Like cornhole will come out, people do bring tables, have birthday parties. I mean, it was just absolutely nuts after that. But they were still being, everybody was being responsible. But it was a good time, and people definitely wanted to come out and listen to music.
They need it. We were hungry for it, and we're continuing to be hungry for it. How would you describe? We had a couple questions before we went live. How would you describe your songwriting process? Are you a collaborator? Are you write on your own? Do you not write at all? People ask that question, even though you can do the research and see it.
No, I'm usually I write a lot. I write a ton, and I always, when I was a young age, I would always do just writing my own stuff. No collaboration, no co-writers at all. But about 5, 6 years ago, I said, let's just try to co-write here, and it worked out great. I mean, the one thing I would always recommend for people now, songwriters, get out there and co-write with somebody, because co-writing is probably the best thing that ever happened to me. You get so many different opinions, so many different views, so many different angles on the song and on ideas. It's the best.
That's so good, because I think a lot of people would say, well, it's my idea, my song. I don't really want anybody else, their input. But most artists that I talk to love the collaborative process.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, and it opens up so many different doors. And there are some songs that I write myself, and I take them to some co-writers, friends of mine, and say, hey, can you add anything? And they're like, no, it's just fantastic the way it is. So
when you perform, do you get songs that you've written or co-written? Do you get emotional on stage? Do you go back to the place of where that was? I've always been amazed at how a performer can stand on stage and sing a song that's obviously moving me or motivating me in a one way, shape, or form, and then they cannot cry, or they can, it's a very emotional baby. It's your baby, and so when you're performing it. So, do you get emotional on stage?
Sometimes I do, but it's very rare. There's only a couple songs that do it for me. My mom passed away about 9 years ago, and there's a song she always loved, and typically I can never play it on stage ever, because I break down. It's just something about that. Because it was a favorite song. Another song that I do, it's called "Damn Good Chevy." There's something about this song that I do, that I play, that always gives me these goosebumps, and it's like it just feels so good playing it. So yeah, I get emotional on some tunes, but most of the tunes I play just give me these chills and vibes, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Well, it must be good too when you see people in the audience who are responding to your song. I would imagine that is also cathartic, and I would get emotional at that. Like when I see somebody else cry, I want to cry. When I see somebody else laugh, you laugh. When you see somebody else enjoying your music, it must be so good for the soul for you to see that.
Oh, it is. It's great. Up to about 10 years ago, I mean, I could open a produce stand up on tomatoes and stuff being thrown at me on stage. But now it's great to hear, to see people, really recognize the songs since I have had some radio play on some songs that I've had released.
Let's talk about the radio play. What's it like in this day and age for an artist? Everything is streaming digital. Is it difficult for you to get your music, your voice out to people who don't just come to your shows? Is it an interesting process for you to kind of promote yourself in the world that we live in now?
It's so much more. It's just so much more to do nowadays with social media. You have to be on every single platform there is to work it. But for radio play, if I had a jacket like that, I could probably get a lot more spins.
You can have it, my friend.
But now, radio's kind of tough sometimes because you never know what they're going to like, what they're not going to like. But for me, I have always been, again, hustling and a hard worker, and I just keep working hard at it. And I kind of find ways that songs will work. I do my research. I research radio, I research radio stations. I do these things. Certain times of the year that I know a song can go out, what they're looking for, keywords. So, and I've had success with it, and what you need to do is distribute to radio, get a great radio promoter to help you out, and hope for the best.
I love it. All right, so you're going to sing for us.
I am.
I'm excited. All right, so this is where I removed myself. Tell us the first song that you're going to sing.
All right, let's see if you can hear me okay on the microphone. Is that okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. This is the song, the new single right now on radio called "Lonely Girl," and 3 of us wrote this song. 2 of my buddies in Nashville that are top songwriters, top hit songwriters, and this one just charted today on Music Row at 70.
Congratulations!
Thank you, man. Once you reach 80, it's a charted song. This is my second charted song in less than a year, so I'm happy with this one. So, hope you like it.
Awesome.
Riding is a name, making drink with straw. Fishing right now, you never let yourself fall. Hell, I can tell from across this road. Whoever he is, he's a fool for leaving you. Lonely girl, how could your heart have no place? Lonely girl, I would never steal your beauty. The life of me, I can't see how anyone would leave you lonely, leave you lonely girl. I guess you didn't know it's every head turn. When you walked in trying to heal her, pretty as you know is crying. It's shaky. To see those tears running down your face. All I can say, lonely girl, how could your heart have no place to go? Lonely girl, I would never steal your beauty for the life of me. I can't see how anyone would leave you lonely, leave you lonely girl, lonely girl, lonely girl. How could you have no place to go? Lonely girl, I would never steal your beauty for the life of me. I can't see how anyone would leave you lonely, leave you lonely. Riding is a late train with a straw. Bitch, fishing right now, you never let yourself fall.
So beautiful. All right, so let me ask you.
Yes.
Who's the lonely girl?
Nobody in particular. No, you know, we sat around, three of us sat around after I was recording a couple of songs, and this riff came up, and we're just kind of singing, and it's just like, you know, go. And I'm like, man, it's just, it reminds me, I'm a good writer when it comes to choruses and some verses too, but I have this vision of like this girl sitting at a bar by herself, just kind of feeling sorry for herself. And it came out, lonely girl. You know, it was pretty easy. About 45 minutes later, we had a song.
I think people love to hear the impetus of the song. Like, what was the beginning? How does that work? You know, you always want to put a face, like there's some sort of story. But I think we could all relate to that. I think we all have known the lonely girl at the bar. So I love that. It was beautiful, actually, really good. And you know, I take myself off now that you've done one. I take myself off mainly because in case you're bad, I don't want you to see my face. It's the truth. So
you can't hide it.
One time I had somebody on who I thought, wow, people have been lying to you your whole life, but you don't want to break anybody's dreams. So my face told everything, though. So I refused to be on while you're singing again. That was awesome. I loved it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, what's next? What are you doing for us?
Oh man, I got about.
I thought you were doing 2 songs, right?
I am for sure. You know, I've got about 100 songs, so I'll try this new one that I just wrote. And
I love your voice; it's so clear. I don't want to sound like Paula Abdul, if you remember that from American Idol. Your tone is so good. You sound amazing.
And that's kind of funny because a lot of people say my tone is fantastic, and it's funny because they say it's soothing, it's calming. I'm like, okay, like I'm putting you to sleep, so I can just
but I understand what they're saying.
Hire me to come over at nighttime and put you to sleep. Be fine.
No asleep, but you know what it is? It's calming, and then you can actually pay attention to what you're saying.
Right.
You're not shouting. You're not screaming at me.
Exactly. Well, this one, I just wrote the song very recently, so if I forget I just want to do it because I like the song a lot, and it feels great. It flows great. It's a simple song like Lonely Girl is. This one is called I Wonder, and it's all about, you'll hear it, hopefully.
All right, here we go. Danny Kensy, guys.
I see you staring at this hopeless window, watching the people all fly by. I bet everyone is thinking, man, he's got me in their quiet little nights. I wonder if you will think about it. I wonder if you will call my name late at night, in the morning, before your first cup of coffee. I wonder if you think I do the same. Yeah, I wonder. Pulling up this here hip town, got a few more shows for the week. Yeah, I'm playing my songs, hoping someone sings along. Maybe you'll be in a front row seat. I wonder if you ever think about me. I wonder if you ever call my name. Late at night, in the morning, before your first cup of coffee. I wonder if you think I'd do the same. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if you ever think about me. I wonder if you ever call my name. Late at night, in the morning, before your first cup of coffee. I wonder if you think I'd do the same. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder.
I loved that. I don't want to pick a favorite song, but I absolutely loved the words to that one.
Man, this is the way that I look at music now, and I have been looking at it for a little while, is simple, to the point, these mellow kind of tones, and just people want to know, they don't want to dig so deep into a song sometimes. It's like, just say what you got to say. Just do it.
Yes, and you could feel it.
Yep.
I mean, and that's what you want. And I think simplicity sometimes definitely rules out over too complex, because people want to feel, and you don't have to have a whole bunch of crazy words or themes for them to feel. They just have to know the artist felt it, which you can tell when you sing. You can tell what you're feeling. Did somebody inspire that one?
Not at all.
I love it. No, this is the kind of answer I want, because I think people go, God, when I see those songs or hear those songs, they must have had a rough life. So it's good that you can share that.
I know. That song literally took about 15 minutes to write, and that was it. It was done.
That's a gift, Danny.
And and I have those songs like that. Then I have some songs that take months. I'm like, man, I go back to them, but that one came really easy, and it's just like, yeah, it sounds great. It feels well. It feels good to sing it, so I'm just going to do it.
So what's up in 2021 for you before we head out?
I've got about 200 and something shows booked already. I'm already booking next year. I've got a bunch of shows for next year booked. I'm traveling around. Typically, I'll be in Italy 3 or 4 times a year, playing in Milan area, Lasane, Voghera, where I usually do shows at. But this month is keeping me in Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina. I was just out in Texas, the Gulf of Mexico recently, a few weeks ago, playing some shows. Probably get out to San Diego, hopefully, and play Nashville, of course. So I'm always traveling, always doing shows, always writing, always flying somewhere to do something with music.
Yeah. And people are already asking, when are you coming to Orlando? That's where I'm at.
Man, I'm a Disney World freak.
Oh yeah, so
I'm a Disney World freak.
You got to come down. You got to come.
I was just there in February, actually, looking at playing the House of Blues at Disney Springs. Yeah, and I'm usually there about 2-3 times a year in Disney, and just to chill out, just to have fun, because that's my favorite spot ever.
You got it. When you come back, you got to come back on, and you're welcome back on anytime.
Sure.
A lot of people wondering, is DannyKensy.com the best place to find your music? How can we find out more about you?
No, that's it. Go there. You can go to Spotify, Pandora, Facebook, all those socials are on there. Find me on there. And just, and I tell people this too. It's not all about buying stuff for me, whatever. Just network. Just share my stuff. It's cool. Listen to it on Spotify. Do whatever. Hey, yeah, I love to sell a lot of stuff, but networking and just sharing my stuff, listening to it is always good too.
Love it, man. You were awesome. Thank you. Danny Kensy, get out and support our artists. I mean, Danny obviously kept performing in 2020, but it's still great to get out and support our creatives because 2020 for a lot of people was a challenge, and we want to see all of the arts come back, including performance, make it normal again to go out to see stuff. So thank you for being on the show. You were awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Ted. I pretty appreciate it, buddy.
So
and
good.
I want a jacket like that.
Anytime you come to Orlando, and I'll give it to you.
That's awesome, dude.
All right, Danny. Thanks so much. You guys go out and support Danny. DannyKensy.com.